What's up everyone, Ventrua here. I've been farming a lot of incursion lately and it has been pretty good currency. And hopefully in this video I will explain how I do it exactly, how to do it efficiently, what you need for it, and give you some tips on how to make more money with it. So let's start by talking about the Atlas. The only nodes you absolutely need is this cluster. You need contested development, so you can transfer the tiers from one architect to another architect. We will talk a lot more about this later. And resource reallocation, which allows you to have a 40% chance to, instead of upgrading by one tier, upgrading by 2 tiers. If you are using, if you are killing an architect that's not changing the room the same way the contested development does. The other nodes on the skill tree are not necessarily mandatory, but I highly recommend clicking Val Oligarchs, because this Val Flesh Merchant has been dropping me a lot of divines, a lot of Ichors and Embers. It's been surprisingly good. Initially, I was really opposed to it, but when I started killing it a lot more consistently, I really noticed the increase in loot. The one point of where people disagree with a lot is whether you should run 4 or 3 incursions. Here, I would say that if you have unlimited amount of missions, 3 incursions are slightly better, because your temples will be slightly better on average. But if you are limited at all, or you do want to buy more sextants and whatnot to get more alvas, I would just run 4 incursions. The temples on average are more than good enough, and most of the time you will end up with at least one of Locus of Corruption or Dorian Institute, which are the 2 rooms we care about. I checked softcore prices briefly. They seem to be around 150 C if you have either of those rooms, and a little over 200 C if you have both of the rooms. It's pretty similar in hardcore, so it's a lot of profit if you build your temples well. So what do you want to exactly do when you are building your temples? So I will be talking in rounds, because the way I view it usually is there's 3 rounds of it. The first 4, then the second 4, and the last 4, right? Because you get 4 per map. So in first round, if you get offered Gemcutter's Workshop or the Corruption Room, you try to get it on your board. Otherwise, you try to upgrade every room to level 2, so you can steal the levels later on by getting a Gem Corruption or Double Corruption, right? I will be doing a full run of a temple here in this video too, so I will go through my opinions and like how I build it and what I do and why I do it. It's gonna be easier to explain while actually doing it. There's also a strat of leaving a map early when you hit a room you care about, like within the first or second incursion. But I haven't been doing that much recently. The reason for that is that if you already hit a room, it cannot be offered in the map again. But let's just get to building a temple. I will try to build one temple as fast as possible and show what I do and explain why I do it. So let's just start. It's the fresh temple. As you can see, it had a gem room, but it didn't have a corruption room. So here we have a splinter room. We don't want to upgrade it to 3, which this could happen if we go up. So we're gonna go down, get it to level 2, so we can convert it to corruption later on, hopefully. And we just clear. It doesn't really matter if you want a full clear or not. All you need to do is kill the architect, but I tend to full clear generally. You could build temples a lot faster if you don't. So here it doesn't really matter where we go. Oh, actually it does matter, because there's Shrine of Empowerment as the 3rd room we actually care about. And by getting this and upgrading it, we will be able to possibly upgrade this gem room. So this is a good placement for the Shrine room. You always want it to be connected to either Corruption room or gem room. So might as well build it here. Already a pretty good start of the temple. It's pretty likely that this temple is gonna end up having at least one of the rooms, if not both. But we'll see in 10 minutes or so. Okay, 3rd incursion. I didn't check what it had. So let's go in. It has neither of these we care about, so we just choose one. Doesn't matter which one. Again, the only room I care about is gems, Shrine of Empowerment, and the upgrades and the double corruption. Some people care about currency room, which is probably okay to do if it's like tier 3 currency room. Honestly, the loot from it is decent, so you could go for that as well. But it's very like, it's very unimportant, I guess is the word I would use. Just like a little bit of extra min-maxing, which doesn't really matter. And we got a gem cutter. That's really lucky. That probably means this already will have tier 3. We have 40% to get guaranteed tier 3, plus it's already connected to a Shrine of Empowerment, so we are pretty much guaranteed to get double corruption here for gems. Let's see if we can get it for items as well. Again, I don't really think of where I connect my rooms. I just click the stone passages, open rooms, so the temple is somewhat connected, and not really care about it too much. I just make sure that the rooms I care about are connected during like the round 2 and 3, just to not accidentally mess up. I usually use sections, but I guess I will use missions here. Doesn't really matter. They do the same thing. Okay, so this is the round 2. We wouldn't want to build a corruption room from scratch anymore, since we don't have one on our temple yet. So if we get offered a corruption room from scratch, we would probably pass on it and try to do the other one. So we get currency here, might as well build it. There's no reason not to. It will upgrade it to tier 2, which is what we want. Always, if you have a tier 1 room, always go down to upgrade to tier 2. Guaranteed, you don't risk getting tier 3. The only time you would actually wanna get tier 3 is if I already had both of the corruption rooms on my temple, and that way you can remove the room from the pool. But usually that doesn't happen unless you are high rolling on your like base temple, so generally you will be upgrading a lot of rooms to 2 in the hopes of getting a switch to a room you want. What do we have here? We have another Shrine of Empowerment. There's no reason not to upgrade it. Actually, there is a reason to... for the same reason as I just described, we're actually gonna go down here to get level 2 guaranteed instead of risking level 3, because we already have Dorian Institute, so we don't really care that it's connected to it, and it will increase our chances for double corruption room. So even though I said we usually care about this room, in this scenario we don't really care about it. There's an argument to be made that we could keep it at, or like try to go for level 3 in this room, just to be able to connect it to the other rooms, but I think this is higher odds of actually hitting the double corruption. But it's pretty close. Like those decisions probably don't make like a big difference in the long run, but you should always do stuff with a reason, right? Whether the reason is perfect or not is a different question, but I feel like I have a decent idea of what to expect. So here again, we're gonna upgrade it to tier 2 in the hopes of being able to switch to corruption later. So far this temple looks like we will have at least 50% chance to get both. We already have gems guaranteed, and we have a lot of tier 2 rooms to hopefully get items as well. We'll see. Oh, that room is probably worthless. Okay, this is actually important to mention. So here we get the option to go corruption chamber, but we really don't want that, because it's very unlikely to actually upgrade us to level 3 from here, because you would have to get it in next round and then get the 40% chance to double up. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna run down, kill this architect, not make it a corruption room, and then hope we get a corruption room from one of the level 2 rooms we already have prepared in previous incursions. Obviously there's a chance we don't get it, but it is higher chance than making a level 1 corruption room here. And the last mob, we'll see how it goes. Would be nice to be able to show the switch if we actually get lucky here, but if not, I mean, the important part is understanding the concepts of this, right? I think they've been explained well enough, so it shouldn't be a big problem even if we don't get here to showcase it, but let's just get lucky, right? Would be nice. Nothing here. Doesn't really matter what we choose. We definitely do want to choose one room though, because it reduces the chances of that room spawn. Like, it basically blocks the room from spawning for the rest of the round, so we definitely want to kill one of the architects. Since, like, let's say here, right, we kill this architect, it's a room full of mobs, we won't be able to get room full of mobs in the subsequent offers, so it will slightly increase the chance of getting corruption chamber. I've seen people like enter and then like, oh, I don't care about either of them, I'm just gonna leave instantly. It's definitely better to always build a room there. What do we have here? We have nothing good. I tend to go down here because I don't know if it actually blocks both of the room types. I'm not sure about that one. It's hard to test, but since I don't really care about the room to upgrade it, I might as well do it. It's a little bit of a tinfoil theory that I have, that if you have like removed a room in one map, it won't offer you it again, even though it's no longer on your temple. But I'm not 100% sure about that one, so that one requires more testing. We have 2 more tries. Let's see if we can get it. It's unlucky. We got a room that couldn't even upgrade to what we wanted. Last try incoming after this. Looks like it might just be a gem temple. But I mean, even a gem temple is, like, as I said, about 150 C in softcore. Probably a little more in hardcore, so... Oh, I should have went down here to follow my tinfoil theory. I just zoned out a little bit. So I would suggest going downwards, killing the other architect, but sometimes we make mistakes, it's fine. Doesn't make... Okay, please. Ah, we missed. But basically, I can at least show the idea here. So we have a level 2 jewelry forge, right? And when we do the armor workshop here, it will actually upgrade it to level 3. So if that was a corruption room, it would make it so... It would make it so the temple has both double corruptions, but just one of them, good enough. Still a successful temple, and we are happy with the result. We just finished the map, and I just want to quickly show how to price these two, because a vacant PoE trade actually does it really easily, so you don't have to search anything yourself. So if you are using a vacant PoE trade, all you need to do when you have these temples, you grab the temple and you check. It already tells you which ones are useful, right? Like, it automatically selects them. It's either Dorian Institute or Locus of Corruption, and you can just check here. This shouldn't probably add anything to it, what the current price is and whatnot. You don't actually have to look for it on the website for yourself. And as you can see, for hardcore prices, we just made one divine in this quick showcase of how to make a temple. Hope that helps people. Build temples more efficiently. And if you have any question, feel free to ask them in the comments or on my stream. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.